1989. George H.W. Bush is sworn in as president. The 90s were close to rolling in, and an infamous video game company released one of its greatest juggernauts into the wild. The Game Boy would sell 118.69 million units up until 2003, when it was finally discontinued. This, however, is not about the Game Boy. When looking at the G-Boy, what do you think?
Oh, it must be some sort of Raspberry Pi device, like the Game Boy Zero.
In actuality, the G-Boy is based on the IBM PowerPC Broadway CPU and the ATI Hollywood GPU. If those sound familiar at all, it's because those are the same chips present in the Wii. In fact, the heart of the G-Boy is a trimmed Wii motherboard. The G-Boy started its life as the G-Cube, created by an infamous portabilizer who goes by the name G-Man. After several revisions, the most notable being the Wii Boy Rev 3, G-Man set out to create a kit where anyone with even a moderate understanding in soldering could create their own portable Wii. But I don't want to sound too much like a copy of someone else now.
Warning, this section is my opinion, and it's fine to have different opinions.
So what do I think of the G-Boy? Well, I love it. It's really a kit where the more time and effort you put in, the better your results. For me, I'm fine with the somewhat messy look, as I'd hate to put a whole design on it, only for it to wear down with time. With this, I feel I can be a bit more rough with it. Battery life is fine, considering there's only two 18650s that are powering what's supposed to be a home console. But if you think the original model of Switch has bad battery life, you probably won't appreciate the G-Boy's battery life. According to the Retro Future,
on average you'll get around 2.5 hours of battery life.
Since the G-Boy runs on the same hardware a Wii does, if a Wii can run it, the G-Boy can too. The only restriction is the OS the G-Boy runs on. This G-Boy currently has BB Loader installed, which lowered the difficulty of the build quite a lot despite being in beta. This means currently Virtual Console games and emulators are not supported, but are going to be added at some point in the future. The G-Boy does have native support for VGA once it is installed, but I personally don't like it as much as Composite. Now hear me out. VGA does have a superior quality, but I just can't dial in the colors. And for some reason it just isn't working. But I'll tinker more in the future, and perhaps I'll get it to work better. Audio can be a bit rough, especially at higher volumes, but that just comes down to the speakers. The amp it used is similar to the UM, but takes the digital audio signal from the Wii even before it makes it to the digital to analog converter. Generally, the best level to have the audio at on the G-Boy, from what I found, is from off to about 50%. This project has been quite an interesting one. The most soldering I've done in the past is attempting the headphone jack mod on a GBASP as shown by Mako. All things considered, I was basically a little better than a beginner at soldering, yet this build was completed in less than a week. To me, this shows how streamlined the kit and the instructions are. Even a total newbie like me got this thing to work. Though the entry fee may look steep, buying an already made portable such as Ginger of Mod's Louie would easily fetch over $1,000. For me, I had to buy everything else as well: solder, flux, wires, a proper soldering station, and that's just before the kit itself, excluding some other tools I already had prior as well. In total, I paid roughly $600 just to make this G-Boy. but it would have been cheaper if I had the infrastructure to tackle a project like this prior. Even after all that, I still believe this kit is worth getting if you feel you have the drive to do it. It's the first of its kind in the portabilizing scene, and it's a very solid start. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I'm very new to this scene and can't wait to start a new project myself. I'd like to shout out Aurelio, G-Man, Shankmods, and everyone else in the G-Boy Discord. Without them, this video would not be possible. By the way, I got VGA to work.